Talking about JLA Heaven's Ladder. Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent, and today we're talking about JLA Heaven's Ladder. Yes, this is an oversized book from many, many years ago. I bought it for $6 at a comic shop. The local chain here, Coliseum Comics here in Florida, has a warehouse sale every Saturday. So you can go and look through stuff, and they had this for $6. It originally went, I guess, for $9.95. So it's not a deal per se in terms of the actual cover price, but to see this is what, 15 years old. This is from 2000. Yeah, 23 years old. Not bad. It's in great shape. So I picked it up. I assume it had been read before it, but it didn't really look like it's been read. But it's just an oversized comic book. Just to give you a size comparison, this is JLA Volume 5 by Mark Waid and Brian Hitch. This also contains Heaven's Ladder, so if you have this trade paperback, you don't have to go seek out the large original Treasury edition. I'm sure you could find it out there somewhere. But in the trade paperback, I'll just show you, like, the pages are shrunk down to fit within trade paperback size, so that's why you have these kind of widescreen borders at the top and bottom. Or no, that's the different storyline. Yeah, right here. You have the widescreen borders at the top and bottom of the page because you're actually looking at what is the oversized JLA Heaven's Ladder art just shrunk down to trade paperback size. So that being said, I was doing some reading after I read this, and apparently JLA Heaven's Ladder was meant to be like this monumental kickoff to Mark Waid's JLA run after he came on replacing Grant Morrison. And if you've read Tower of Babel, you know he can write some really good stories. That's a Mark Waid story on JLA. Howard Porter had left the book. He had Brian Hitch coming on. This is post-Authority, and he was taking over the book. So shortly after he does some stuff on JLA, he goes over to Marvel and does the Ultimates and knocks it out of the park over there. But this oversized graphic novel is going to be their big kickoff. Unfortunately, the story is not that good. I'm really not clear why. And the storytelling was a little weird because they're trying to show basically the scale of this threat to Earth and the universe, and that's kind of what's giving it this big, necessitating these big pages, is that the scale of this threat is so large, we need the extra art room to show you. Well, in the first couple of pages, they're trying to show how big this thing is, and it doesn't really look like you're zooming out much at all. It just looks like the spaceship is moving. And it's not until a few pages later that you realize that this actual construction of alien spacecraft has basically skewered Earth like an olive in a martini glass and is moving along through space or something like that. And now our Earth is a collection now of part of a bunch of worlds that are around things like that. And so it's actually moving through space, and the JLA is kind of like, oh, we're on the moon still. We need to get over there fast. And figure out what is going on. And it's basically some weird stuff with these other beings that are trying to figure out how to contact heaven. They're so evolved that they figured out all science, all technology, and now they're trying to figure out the afterlife. And in order to do that, they're going around collecting different worlds to figure out how everybody does the afterlife on that world, so that that's their evidence they're gathering, they're collecting and things like that, and then they can piece it together and actually figure out the afterlife, because I believe they were dying or something like that. It's actually been a while since I read this. I read this and recorded a review of it, never posted it, and it got deleted, so here we are re-recording it. But this is not a big villain per se, but the antagonist. He's like the avatar of the main part of the species that wants to do what they're wanting to do. There's kind of two factions, and they're battling. There's a red faction and a blue faction. And, there's some fun things in here, like they go into the fifth dimension. You go into different worlds and some other sciences. You go to Ran. But all in all, like this is really just worth picking up, I think, to look at the art at its full size. not necessarily for the story. The story is very dense. It's very hard to get through. Honestly, I was kind of bored reading it. And if it wasn't for the oversized Bryan Hitch art, I probably would have put it down. So I can't recommend it and say like, this is Bryan Hitch's best work or this is Mark Waid's best story, because that's not the case. And if you've read like anything he's written recently with Dan Mora on World's Finest, then you know that he's still knocking it out of the park all these years later. Or Kingdom Come, like there's better Mark Waid stories that are being written today and better Mark Waid stories that have already been written rather than this JLA story. So I liked his JLA run a little bit. I think the, we'll talk about it when we review all those books eventually. But I think like this is just not it. This is just not it. And I think this came out, I was reading, I don't know if it was Sequart or something like that. There's an article online that's basically like, yeah, this came out and it didn't go off with a bang. It was kind of a whimper. And, Bryan Hitch ended up not doing a whole bunch of actual JLA issues at the time. Had other things going on. I'm not sure exactly what. But, it just didn't end up being what they wanted it to be. But it is a beautiful presentation. It's beautiful art. It's old school JLA. You got Kyle Rayner here in the crab mask before, Parallax was even mentioned in terms of being a yellow alien or anything like that. So this is classic stuff from 23 years ago. You got Steel here on the team. You got Aquaman with his hook hand. Plastic Man on the team. Just lots of fun stuff. The JLA used to be fun, guys. The JLA used to be fun. Even when we had a JLA, they were a lot of fun at times. But yeah, there's some beautiful big stuff here. And I wonder if this is what like led Bryan Hitch to be like, hey, on Ultimates, I'm going to draw the shit out of that book because, I drew the shit out of Heaven's Ladder. And I'm going to do that again on the next go around. So yeah, it's kind of a confusing read. The art, the oversizedness makes it nice to look at and to hold. But as a reading experience, it's not that good. It's not that great. And it's purely mediocre in terms of a reading experience, in terms of the story. So I think it's a bummer. But I think that's also why you haven't seen this like reprinted or put in like a hardback or anything like that, because at the end of the day, it's just a mediocre story. And there are better Mark Waid stories out there that have been written and are being written. So yeah, if you see this for cheap, I think pick it up for the art alone. If you really like Bryan Hitch, especially when he's being inked by Paul Neary and Laura Depuy. I feel like Hitch is better when he's inked by other people. A lot of the times, and especially at this phase. So yeah, if you're a huge Hitch fan, if you can find a bigger version of it, go seek it out. And if not, you're fine never reading it, honestly. So yeah, that's my review of JLA Heaven's Ladder. Let me know down below in the comments what you thought of this storyline. Am I right? Am I wrong? And we will see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.